So Candace Owens, as you know, she was a friend of Charlie Kirk, and she's been going super viral. I watched her live stream. She had 300,000 people watching her. Like, we got 10,000 on 2 channels watching us now. She had 300,000 people watching her. It's almost like a Charlie Kirk stimulus package because she was really close to Charlie Kirk. I think she's now alleged. She's now alleged that, like, you know, people, you know, trying to get her killed or whatever the case is. And let me see. Let's see if we could. Can we find the clip? Is it this?
We have new bombshell claims by Candace Owens that the French government has paid for and executed a plan to assassinate her, and that might not be the craziest part of the video we've got for you. Also, a response from Turning Point USA. I'm going to share what the pro-Candace and anti-Candace community is saying regarding all of this. Hey folks, I'm Dave Neal, host of the Rush Hour podcast, with a bonus weekend episode for you guys, so hit the subscribe button if you enjoy a little extra content. So she put out this tweet, which I'm going to analyze a little bit more in a second, but she claims she was contacted by high-ranking officials, and she says, oh, the complaint is credible enough that I believe it could be an assassination attempt, and she wanted to share that just in case something crazy happens. A lot of people are saying, come on, that's absolutely wild, but we...
Urgent. 2 days ago, I was contacted by a high-ranking employee of the French government. After determining this person's position and proximity to the French couple, I've deemed the information they gave me to be credible enough to share publicly in the event that something happens. In short, this person claims that the Macrons have executed upon and paid for my assassination. Yes, you read that correctly. More specifically, the green light was given to a small team in the National Gendarmerie Intervention Group. I am told that there is one Israeli that is on the assassination squad, and plans were formalized. Again, this person provided concrete proof that they are well placed within the French government apparatus. Further to this point, this person claims that Charlie Kirk's assassin trained with the French Legion 13th Brigade with multi-state involvement. Journalist Xavier Pouchard life is also at risk. This is deadly serious. The head of state of France apparently wants us both dead and has authorized professional units to carry this out. I ask that every person retweet and share this, and I do not know who in the American government can be trusted since this source claims our leaders are aware. But I have more specific information, which is definitely verifiable should they care to reach out to me. To the brave official in France who did this because they were so moved by the evil of Charlie's public execution to risk their own life, may God bless you truly. Let all be revealed. Okay. Love Candace Owens. I've actually interviewed her. I think she's one of those people that believe Charlie Kirk was killed because of like some Israeli thing. Yo, here's the reality of it, bro. Yo, and again, obviously I'm a little bit ignorant to this. I haven't done all my Googles. I get it. I love you and everything, Candace Owens, but Charlie Kirk was killed by a crazy white boy. That's just what it is, man. This ain't no Israel shit. We got to stop with this bullshit, man. We got to stop with this bullshit, man. Like, yo, it ain't no Israel, man. Charlie Kirk was talking crazy. And when I mean crazy, I'm saying it, you know, hyperbolically because, you know, to some people he was talking truth and sense. But he was saying things that people didn't like. And what happens, and let me tell you, this happens in politics. And I know we're shocked because it happened in the United States, but go in any place in the world. When you speak about politics that could affect the lives of people, people die. In Colombia, there's been candidates getting clapped left, right, and center before they could even get to election. In most third world countries, people who run from politics are faced with death, not because there's some international interference. Sometimes it is, but mostly sometimes by people who are directly feel like they're affected by those words or they can't control them. So when I hear that Israel killed the dude, no, it's probably some fucking dude who was at home jerking off a bunch, and for whatever reason, he didn't like what Charlie Kirk represented. You know, the thing is with people that usually affiliate with politics and religion, they're down to pull a trigger. You see, this is why I try to stay my black ass in hip hop, because I could diss niggas in hip hop all day and night. None of them are gonna train to be an assassin to try to kill me. You start doing that in politics and with religion, people treat those as death sports. You go against their political ideology and beliefs, some things that could compromise how their way of life is, they will kill you. And shit, I think that's what it is. I just don't think it was some elaborate plan by Israel to kill Charlie Kirk. I think some white kook just killed him. It is what it is. Like, you know what I mean? Shit. You know, it doesn't take that much. After you see how the dude got killed, I got 14 guns that could have done the same thing that nigga did, right? I'm just not radicalized, and I got no problem with nobody that I would want to go to the fucking range to train to shoot a nigga from like 150 yards and fucking make a plan to go kill him. But yeah, we're in America. Everybody got guns. What the fuck? Like, you know what I mean? If you really don't like somebody, you really can kill them. And unfortunately, the people who are going to stand on those things are usually white people, number one. C, the white dude who killed the pharmaceutical guy. And C, this white dude who fucking killed Charlie Kirk. And the two things they'll kill you for the most is not hip hop, right? Like, you know, only like, cause it would be a dumb crash out who'll kill you for some hip hop shit. People will go down as martyrs for conversations or things that affect them when it comes to religion and politics. This is why in most places they tell you don't talk about religion or politics. Niggas will die over that shit. I don't think it's Israel. Some fucking kook killed him. It is what it is. However, if Candace Owens believes this is some real other shit, okay, shit, cool. All right, whatever. Now, to her death threat that she's now saying, she says France is trying to kill her. If like, I kind of follow this stuff kind of off stream a little bit. I think she claimed that the French president, his first lady, is a man. So she's claiming that a first lady is a man. And to the point that I think she got sued because they're saying the first lady isn't a man. She's doubled down. She claims she has all type of, she says she never seen baby pictures. She claims she has all type of, you know, proof, and she really believes it. And it's turned to a point where the French government, I believe, has even spoken to the United States government to say, hey, listen, you have somebody who's powerful with a voice who is really denigrating the institution of our you know, power structure here and taking aim at us. What's up? And she's now felt like, you know, obviously that tension back and forth, lawsuits going back and forth. She feels like they have issued a contract on her life. I mean, what I would say is, I don't want to call her crazy. I'll say, hey, if you feel what Candace Owens does is a blood sport. Like, again, when niggas start doing a Charlie Kirk, you should realize that more people has gotten shot for politics than usually get shot for anything else. You get what I'm saying? Bob Marley, my favorite musician, he got shot. Why? Because he took a political stance and performed at a political rally. He got shot. That's how it works. Like, people will really kill you over politics. You get what I'm saying? So, Candace, you're making a lot of money now. I see you have 300,000 people watching you live. I know you're making money like hand over fist. You should get a Secret Service team. Maybe start wearing, you know, some of those plates that could deflect bullets, high caliber bullets, 5.56s, maybe some 308s from multi distances. And if you actually feel like your life is in danger that much, if you're doing public speaking that could be in uncontrolled environments, probably get one of these bulletproof glasses and just stand in a box. It is what it is. Again, we have freedom of speech in this country. It's made you a lot of money, but there's most likely going to be a kook somewhere that if they don't like what you say, they might try to kill you. And it is what it is. So again, you take the rewards, just take the risk, or not the risk, but take the precautions to make sure you're alive to enjoy it, right? So bulletproof cars, if you're going to do something public, have, like they do with Donald Trump usually, that glass that's around him is bulletproof. You know what I mean? Do all that, take precautions, you'll be all right. That's how it goes. All right? Somebody said I'm sending SOS to her, stay strapped. Yeah, stay motherfucking strapped. That's a fact.
do live in wild times where Charlie Kirk was assassinated. I'll get to this full tweet in a few minutes, but first, we have a response from Turning Point USA that's going super viral online. Turning Point USA directly counters the complete lies that Candace Owens has pushed. Unlike Candace, they actually use facts.
Now, there's a whole thing happening. So Candace Owens, so Charlie Kirk died, and he was the leader and founder of Turning Point USA. Ever since he's died, it's fell into the hands of not only his wife, but other people that are running it. And Candace Owens, who used to be a close comrade of Charlie Kirk, she isn't in line with everything they're doing. She actually has different ideologies somewhat, and also she has different theories about his demise as they don't. And that's why you're now seeing Candace Owens fight against what's called TPUSA or Turn Point USA, but that was Charlie Kirk's organization. This is almost like this is like some Avengers type like battle for, almost real estate within people's minds. And like, I get the election is where we elect world leaders, but these influencers who have as much power, like Charlie Kirk, just think about it. Charlie Kirk had so much power. They actually said he was one of the top 5 people that got Trump elected because the youth were listening to this guy. Candace, at this point, she's been rising up the ranks. And usually people say black people in politics can't get to a certain level, but Candace is there. She's at the tippy top. She's at the top of the top when it comes to influencers. And I'm calling her an influencer, but she's damn near a political figure at this point. When she has her live streams, millions of views. And when she espouses thoughts, opinions, if she doesn't like something that maybe the administration does or whatever, there's millions of people watching her. These people, whether it was Charlie Kirk, God rest his soul, or even Candace Owens, they're more powerful. They're literally more powerful than any pundit on Fox News or whatever. This is the reason why people like, Carlson, is it Tucker? It's the reason why he fucking left Fox. Not that it didn't force his ass out, but that's why he's doing what he's doing now. This is why Piers Morgan's so important. These guys now have the audience, especially political audience, where they're super influential. Now, what comes with that is that the insane amount of money. I've heard some of the money that's associated with trying to get these people to even lean halfway on certain angles, on certain issues. People are throwing around millions of dollars to say, hey, we'll give you the sponsorship. But, anytime you talk about, I don't know, I'm making this part up, like abortion, you kind of got to like be favorable to it, and they'll give $1 million sponsorship. So there's mad money at stake. There's mad influence to be played. And we're watching all of this shit happen. And this is kind of a blood sport because people are getting assassinated.
And logic, again, this is the summation of somebody who's in the pro Turning Point USA camp. It's important to share this, because Candace does a very good job of portraying her opinions in like a story-like format.
By the way, when I went to meet with Candace Owens and I interviewed her, by the way, this is when hip hop was basically saying Candace Owens was persona non grata because she was raising a red flag on what BLM was. And the thought of anybody criticizing BLM, given also being a black person, was that you are her Uncle Tom. And, I think over time people realized that BLM was full of a lot of BS in terms of they were using money and misappropriating funds. So people have kind of like forgave her a bit, but she's like, when I did meet with her, I realized quickly that she has a gift with this microphone. She could galvanize people to believe her. She knew how to speak to people. And, she was at the Daily Wire. And I think when she first got hired, there was somebody named Ben Shapiro. You guys might know him. He was bigger than her in the political realm. Like, she's toppling that nigga. Like, there's nothing bigger than Candace Owens, if you ask me at this point. So, she's at this point is at the peak of, of influence to send third. And also, I think she does learn a little bit from the likes of people like Alex Jones, where it's like, if you really want people to buy in, you kind of have to be a little bit of a cynicist in a way, where, Alex Jones got so many people to buy into what he had going on by always espousing what some people call conspiracy theories. He'd be like, yo, the government's doing this. They're putting this in the water. They're doing this. This was a hoax. And he used to sell kits like, yo, this is like the end of the world kit and blah blah. The nigga was making millions. They showed the earnings for Alex Jones InfoWars. It was $200 million one year. $200 fucking million. Nigga, I can't even get y'all to donate $1,500 for a relief effort. You see how, like, that's why politics is just infinitely way more profitable, right? So $200 million. But it's because he was putting a little bit of fear out there. He was exposing some, like, you know, some conspiracies. And what Candace does is Candace is a little bit fact-based, is way more fact-based than Alex Jones, but she also she's leaning into this, who knows how Charlie Kirk died. This might have been a rogue hit from the Mossad, from this. And I'm not going to lie, she has so many people kind of like really leaning into this that, hey, this is some powerful shit. So, again, I don't know if this is part of, you know, maybe some of the cynicism that I think that she might be exposing, consciously, or maybe she's like, yo, I think I'm getting too influential. They're about to get me next, right?
That some people will take as complete fact, but you do have a chance, especially in the court of law, to counter that and say, well, you shared information that would make it look a certain way, but here's a more logical explanation. Where is the
grieved just by Charlie not being with us? And
so he goes, there's a reason for silence on certain things. I will say this about Candace, and trust me when I say, I have plenty of good things to say about Candace. She uses her platform to claim when people are silent, when they don't respond, that there must be a guilt attached to that. Sometimes that's the case. With regards to the French president,
forward, and she wants everybody to be unified and on the same page. So, Mikey, I don't know if you want to add anything to that.
Yeah, I mean, Andrew, you said it. If there's silence on something, oftentimes people say that it's silent because it's true. No, that's not why. Like, there's so many accusations out there against so many people. Even one of them are like a sermon that my dad gave where he said that I had blood on me. And for the record, like, he gave that sermon. I called my dad moments after everything happened, and I was screaming.
I was listening to that call, and
Blake was next to me. I was screaming on the phone. I said Charlie was shot in the neck, and he had blood all over him.
He said,
and
I think he said there was a lot of blood.
And I said, you need to call every pastor and pray.
Now, the conspiracy theorists will say, why was there no blood on the scene? And, you know, it could be the case that, and again, I don't want to get too graphic, but depending on the entry wound, it could be the case that, you know, since there was no exit wound, that's where a lot of the mess would normally come from. Why was there no exit wound? These are all quite, look, there's 17 cameras pointed at Charlie, and they still don't have the answer on this. So I don't blame those asking the questions. I also don't blame the people from Turning Point USA to try to figure this out. I have no logical reason to believe any of them were trying to do anything but continue the work of Charlie Kirk. You know, I don't know anything about this organization. From a logical standpoint, Charlie Kirk brought in a lot.
Okay. I'm trying to listen to Candace. Can we listen to Candace?
Right.
Okay, Jesus. Has she done a thing on it? Candace Owens, France. Okay, here we go.
Political commentator and conspected by a high-ranking of execution squash.
Okay, so she hasn't done like a
specifically referencing an occasion in which Kirk called for the country to drop charges against him or face 300% tariffs from the U.S. Durov was arrested and spread online.
Okay. So these people are so popular that, you know, they're like the entire country of France doesn't like her. Or the government of France doesn't like her because of her broadcast and her trying to convince people about an idea about his wife. And because of that, you know, it then becomes a political situation, because what happens if you have someone who's pretty much an influencer, but she's like a political figure, Candace Owens, that has such a loud microphone that it could affect a different country? How do they respond? Do they ask nicely, like, hey, could y'all censor her? Or do they say, yo, we're going to kill her? That's the thing, right?
The Candace Owens, further to this, have and the names of the assassin and international accounts in France and Canada through which money was exchanged. Beyond that, I have shared more info with the public regarding the Brigitte story. I was investigated at the time of Charlie's assassination. So again, I really just want her to put this information out publicly because I think for her own credibility too, it would just help a lot. I like a lot of the things Candace has to say, but I'm not. It's hard to hop on these sort of bandwagons without her putting some more information out. So I'm sure she will. She'll put something out because she has in the past. I just think it might be good for her to just go ahead and do that now and put it out into the open, honestly. So this is her just tweeting what Pavel Durov said. The States training with our Marine support my claim. Again, can verified first. Right. Now, there is something I wanted to show.
Now, let me see. Does she have a video of her beefing with TPUSA? Oh, yeah, she's been beefing with these motherfuckers.
Happy Monday, everybody. Today, we are going about them doing that. The average person doesn't even know who the current CEO of McDonald's actually is. But, however, giving you a different scenario, if out of nowhere McDonald's announced that they were getting rid of the Big Mac, that they were changing their French fries, and they're doing away with their chicken nuggets, there would probably be a reaction to that. People would be pretty angry. It would probably start trending. And it's because the reality is nobody actually cares about the corporate structure. But if you change the menu items, that actually changes the substance of the company for people. A very recent example of that, by the way, is the Cracker Barrel scandal, which was hilarious, but it was a good point for everybody to learn, right? That they're smarter than their customers, that they're smart. Charlie Kirk was essentially the old man on the Cracker Barrel logo. People were invested in Charlie Kirk. We have, at this moment,
So she beefing with Charlie Kirk's organization.
No definitive understanding of what happened on the day that he was assassinated.
A nigga shot him. Yo, a nigga took a gun and shot him. That's how it works. He died. Yo, I like you, Candace, but come on, like, what do you think happened? A nigga took a gun, aimed it at him, shot him in the neck, and he died. That's how it works.
But what we do know definitively is that the feds are lying to us. That is obvious. It is abundant. If you're able to think.
Now, let me tell you this too. There's so much like leg room and so much like area of growth or whatever when you go down these realms. Like there's people with the 9/11 was an inside job. They have had 20-year careers, right? If you're one of those people, you're like, well, Bush is the guy who knocked down the towers. Well, this is how the government allowed for it to happen. And then you build on these theories. You take these like videos. Why was there no blood on the scene? Well, in Charlie Kirk, why did the tower collapse like this? Why did this? And then you kind of turn that. There becomes so many people that becomes really invested into what you're saying that they're like, yo, we believe you. And that's like a very important part of when you are trying to have a cult or whatever. You need people kind of believe in a central ideology that you're bringing them truth to. So this idea that the government is trying to like kill you or poison you and I'm the one to enlighten you and now my life is in danger. You get a unwavering loyalty from people that you can't even like, you can't create no other type of way. So I don't know if Candace is like doing that intentionally or maybe this is just happenstance, but I think she's incredibly smart.
Think thoughts. You recognize that something is very wrong with the story that has been presented to the public. And I think that what the public doesn't understand, and I count myself among the public, is why it seems as though Turning Point USA executives, and I'll say seems, are not even remotely interested in challenging that.
Yeah, so her beef with Charlie Kirk's organization is that she feels they just said, all right, he dead. Let's take his job and let's pick up the organization and keep it going. And she feels that's sus because they should be asking more questions. So she's asking the questions because she really loves them. And they think she's cuckoo. And then she's also beefing with France because she said that French president, his wife is a man. There's a lot of bullshit here, Chad. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'll be listening to this shit too because drama is drama. You know what I mean? And hip hop only has so much drama. But yeah, interesting. Anyway, she claims that there's money on her head. Girls, stay strapped. You feel me? Stay strapped, man. Okay. All right. Let's move on a bit. All right. Let me see. I did that already.